Hello guys, this is UniversalGiant. Welcome back for more of Let's Play Pokémon SoulSilver. Last time, we made our way up northward from Cerulean City towards Cerulean Cape, and today, we're going to be breaking up some hot Misty action! I think we've already found somebody who isn't a fan of that. You gotta love her hairdo though, look how it's changed since the first generation, holy crap. Well, at least she's going back to the gym, so that's nice. We'll also have something interesting to do here at some point, but even just going back and forth in and out of Bill's grandfather's house doesn't seem to do the trick, so we're just going to make our way all the way back down. I don't think there's anything over here either. We'll just make our way all the way back down towards the Cerulean Gym. I'll heal all of these guys up since the last time they fought. They're still not feeling so hot, especially Lupus. Not that he's going to be seeing much action in this gym anyway. Whatever, we're going to heal him up. I'll meet you back out here. You know what I also realized since editing the last two videos? Guess who hasn't seen screen time in the last two videos? He's seeing it now. Good to see you too, Duster. Let's take on the gym. And it's not as if we don't know what we're in for here, because we've already been in this gym and got the machine part and took it back to the power plant and all that fun stuff. But first, PPU here with a rather serious update on why I did not upload any videos last week. For those of you that aren't aware, I do live in New Jersey, and we were hit by the worst natural disaster in our area's history, which thankfully only resulted in us personally losing power for 4 days. There were a lot of areas in and around us, especially near the coast, that were hit much harder than we were. Especially one particular area of Staten Island where my mom used to work, and not to get too personal about it, but there were a lot of people in that area that lost everything they've ever owned, their houses, their cars. A lot of other areas in New Jersey were hit pretty hard too. If you haven't had a chance to see pictures or videos of the damage, and even some places were hit so hard people weren't even allowed to go back to see how bad they were and just assess the damage. It's really hard to think about, and it just puts everything into perspective. It's a very humbling experience, but I don't want to get too depressing about this and then have UniGiant come back in his old rowdy, happy self, but that's what I've been dealing with for the last week or so, and the reason why I wasn't able to edit this batch of videos, including this one and the next 4 videos, even though I recorded them the day before, I didn't have a chance to edit them. And the reason why you got videos the week Sandy hit was because I scheduled them to be uploaded that Sunday morning, so it was like nothing ever happened, but unfortunately, you know, nature had its own plans in mind, and other things had to take priority, but I digress. Back to UniGiant. I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. Now, the reason why I said I wasn't sure whether or not you absolutely needed Surf to get through this gym is I want to say you can just head right back out and go right back in to get that guy to move out of your way. Otherwise, he would have been standing here and blocking our way forward. He isn't anymore, so we could technically just fight Misty right now and not have to surf around. But that kind of defeats the purpose of the gym. I figure all gyms serve as a means of showing off what that particular Pokemon type has to offer. And it's always nice to get a look at these sorts of things, especially in games that allow the trainers to have Pokemon from more than one region. Unfortunately, it looks like we're seeing a lot of the same ones that we've already seen, so it's a bit of a disappointment, but at the same time, it also feels nice to get back into the swing of actually narrating over these battles, regardless of how painfully simple they are. And we're going to be seeing a lot of Water Pulse when we get to the Misty fight, because she likes using that move a lot. We also haven't used Strength in a while. I can't reiterate enough just how nice it is to have Strength as an HM, even though most normal type HMs aren't worth keeping. Like, you have your Cut TM, HM, and are those the only 2 normal type TMs that actually do anything? Why am I thinking so hard on this? But Strength, with this 80 base power, 100 base accuracy, and there are a lot of different Pokemon that can learn it, it's really helpful to have early on. I mean, now that we have Return, it's only even when Return is fully powered up, it's only 22 more powerful than Strength, which is 80. So it's not as if Strength is a bad move, especially given Duster's stat. Why are you so short from gaining a level, Krako? Could you just gain, like, 1 experience point? How much experience does Krako need to evolve? Please tell me. 25! He has over 132,000 experience points. He only needs 25 to level up. Well, I know somebody I'm going to be sending in before the Misty fight. But what I was saying about the storm, do you know how insane it is at every grocery store, every warehouse, just before a storm like this? Even if the storm isn't necessarily going to be this bad, I mean, given that this is supposed to cause more damage than Irene did, even though it's not going to be as powerful. Attract! I had a lot of fun using you without Dino in Black... or was it White 2? White 2 Challenge Mode. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. But Attract! It's like a confusion in that you're incapable of performing any kind of action. Except, unlike confusion, it lasts for as long as both the attracted and the attractee are in battle at the same time. I also want to say this Cloyster has skill link, so all of its multiple hit moves will hit 5 times. But there's no real way for me to check, except to run, you know, a probability check to see if he just keeps hitting those 5 times every single time like Spike Cannon. No matter how little damage it does, it'll always hit 5 times because of its ability. And the interesting thing about it, besides the fact that you can get a critical hit for any one of those 5, and there's no limit to how many critical hits you could get with it. So you could get a regular hit the first time, a critical hit the second, regular hit the third, critical the fourth, critical the fifth. And sometimes that could be more useful than not. It's also interesting in that if you're running a move that's powerful enough to break through a Pokemon substitute, although that's not all that helpful in the main game, it isn't competitive. If a Pokemon puts up a substitute, it takes 25% of its max HP to knock out. And it provides a shield, so it's like a free hit. You can't touch the other Pokemon's HP until you knock out the substitute. If you have a multiple hit move, you could break the substitute and still be able to attack the Pokemon after you break it. Just a little interesting tidbit of information that doesn't really come up in the main game all that often. Zen Headbutt, physical psychic move. Very funny how many psychic moves that Psyduck and Golduck learn, even though they aren't actually psychic types. But I digress, we've finally made it through the gym. And after I heal all of these guys up and return to the gym, I'm probably going to have to figure out something very short I can do at the end of the video, because it doesn't seem like we've been here too long, does it? I'll worry about that myself and meet you back here. And now that we're all ready and raring to go, I'd say it's about time to take on what I guess most people consider to be their favorite gym leader, although I don't for the life of me understand why. Misty! She's got 4 Pokemon and leads with a Golduck, who we just saw previously. I don't understand why you're leading with Golduck. I guess it's kind of cool, but it does not resist Psychic because it is not Psychic. I felt like using Klaus because I could, and wow, that thing has a high special defense stat. I did not realize. Misty's signature move in this generation is Water Pulse, which has the chance of confusing its target, which is what confused me and made me very upset. Please don't hit yourself, Klaus. I still don't think Golduck can do too much to us since we're already confused. I really hope that Klaus can do you in, because I really want to get Klaus to do something, and he's really close to a level. Okay, there we go. Golduck down! Another Pokemon that I've somewhat been interested in trying, although I've never really given it true thought that I'd actually want to try using it. Our next one is going to be Stormy! Now, I'm kind of Do we want to go with Crackle? I want to get Duster into this fight somehow, but I also want to get Crackle in here because I think Starmie is a pretty big threat. Not only is it very powerful on the special side, but it's also a very quick Pokemon. I often underestimate just how fast Starmie is. And it may not have been a bad idea for me to paralyze it. Often, if you paralyze a Pokemon that's faster than you, it pays for itself in the end. See, if I paralyzed her Starmie on the first turn here, even though I was slower, I'd be able to go before her Starmie on the next turn, because Paralysis cuts her speed to a quarter of what it's originally. Quagsire, I might as well get Duster in on you. The only thing Quagsire is weak to is Grass, and that's a 4 times weakness. Unfortunately, we don't have any Grass moves, so we just gotta go with Brute Force. I also want to say this Quagsire, like all of the other ones we've faced, has Water Absorb, so there's no reason for me to try using a Water move. I don't know why you're building up Amnesia. I guess that Duster's special attack stat is low enough that you'd probably not be hurt by it if I tickled you with a special move. I'm mildly afraid of Earthquake. I honestly forgot that we actually had Earthquake on HCV. I was like, wait a minute, why can you have Earthquake? That's not fair. Oh, wait. But yes, she's a gym leader, so she has a bunch of full restores that'll make this battle take long enough that I won't have to fit anything else to the end of the video. Why am I thinking about this while I'm recording? Why am I so unprofessional? I'm trying to think of a number of different things I could say about Quagsire, except I think we've already said all of them. Like, the scales on its back will be longer if it's a male, that it has Water Absorb, that you have another full restore. Why do you do this, Misty? There are a lot of other Pokemon games where even though you have multiple heals, the gym leader or whoever's using them will not use them all on the same Pokemon consecutively. I thought this was one of those games. I guess I was wrong. I just feel like resisting its Water Pulse. I did not want to lose Duster. I think you've gotten the gist of how I play the Pokemon games by now, where I try not to use any items if I don't have to, but at the same time, I'll use them if not using them would require me to go through a really large amount of effort. You're kidding me, right? Misty? Could you please kill your Quagsire for... I could tip it over by flicking my finger on its forehead and it will die. Okay. I was very scared that she had 3 full restores and not 2. She might have 3, but she may not be able to use them all on the same Pokemon. I don't know. All I know is she has the Rain Up, so I have to be very careful about her Lapras, who we've already caught one of, actually. And it's one of my most highly viewed videos on this playlist, and I'm not entirely sure why. I guess people really like Lapras or something. But it's part Ice-type, which means it's weak to fighting! Which means 1 close combat from HCV should be more than enough to do it in, and I don't know whether or not that's the first time we've ever seen him use it. I really like how close combat looks in this generation. Just the squareness of the fists when it hits looks so powerful. But close combat drops your defense and special defense after you use it, so you want to use it very sparingly. But with that, we finally gain our 5th Kanto badge, the Cascade badge. And as per usual, we get Misty's signature move as a technical machine, TM3 Water Pulse. Has a chance of confusing the target. Not a very bad TM either. If you have access to this early on, I guess this is another move that was buffed in the 4th. Was it? I'm using Oshawott in black and white too, the actual, like, cartridge white too, not the ROM. And I want to say that Water Pulse is powerful than that, but I also... No, who am I kidding? I'm pretty sure it's 60 base power there too. Also, I feel sorry for not showing off this sign. Leader Misty, the tomboyish mermaid. You know, there's one NPC in the last town in Black and White 2 that references Misty as being a tomboy, but if she's okay with it enough to leave it on the sign outside of the gym that lets everybody know, hey, I'm Misty, come fight me, that she says she's a tomboy, and she's okay with the sign being there, then I have no problem with it either. And if she doesn't, I don't either. But that's gonna do it for this episode of Let's Play Pokemon SoulSilver. Next time, I'll finally be able to set up all of the stuff in the Safari Zone that I've been waiting to do. But I'll take care of that off-screen. Next time, we'll probably be cleaning up with all of the areas that we haven't yet explored in Kanto. I don't think we had a chance to go all the way through Route 8, but that also may just because I neglected to go there. And we'll have to make our way over to Nugget Cave because as you can see, it lets out all the way over here by Pewter City, and that's going to be our next destination. Still have to finish off this route though, but if we have time, we'll hopefully make it all the way up to Pewter City. See you then.